I'm sure Sriram is all set. I'll just give you a quick context. I'll just set the context of the discussion and open it up for Sriram to give us the insight that we are really looking for. So, streaming platforms across the world have really one thing in mind, and that is to win over the geographies and win over the new markets and new audiences for them. Now, India is the second biggest, second largest population in the world, and it's a huge market, and it's a huge opportunity for all streaming brands, and we have one of the biggest streaming brands in the country, which has been doing fairly well in the streaming business of India. Sriram, I would really want to dive, right into the question and ask about your journey, right, in India, right? What have you seen has really evolved as far as consumers are concerned? And how has been Amazon Prime's, big journey in India so far?
All right. Hey, first of all, thank you everyone for having me here. Thank you. My name is Sushant. I head the SWOT business for Prime Video in India. To your question, Satrajit, in one word, and it's been phenomenal, and 5.5 years in, after launching in India, we're just getting started. It's been exciting because we have had the opportunity to cater to an extremely diverse entertainment landscape and customer preferences, right? So you think about entertainment. India is actually not just one entertainment offering or need state. You actually need to access entertainment or provide entertainment across a variety of heterogeneous factors, right? You talk about language, you talk about accessibility, affordability, genres of entertainment. And we have had, I think in the last 5.5 years, we have launched more than 45 Amazon originals, which have gone on to, become incredibly successful. Customers have loved them. And we've also had the opportunity to, build our slate across genres of entertainment. So we have today customers from more than 99% of PIN codes streaming on Prime Video. And we have customers from more than 4,000 towns and cities in the country streaming on Prime Video, right? And this is across, across various parts of the country, across age groups. I think it's a testament to the fact that, our single mantra as we have grown the service and built the service has been to super serve, which is to cater to the extremely heterogeneous needs across languages, across genres, across originals, and the kind of original shows that we have provided to customers. So overall, it's been a good run.
Great. So I'll come to the originals part in some time, but tell me one thing, the diversity that you really portrayed, right? Is this also a kind of challenge for you in the growth? And how are you kind of strategizing towards that?
We tend to think of it in terms of opportunities. So when we launched Prime Video as a service in India, very early on it became evident to us that if we had to become a meaningful entertainment destination for customers, we had to play to an extremely heterogeneous set of expectations. I call them expectations and not challenges. One is language, right? There is no one language of entertainment in India, right? You have more than 22 recognized languages, and we actually had to cater to that. So today on the service, we have shows and movies in 10 languages on the service, right? We have a regional user interface, so you can actually browse the Prime Video experience in 3 Indian languages, right? We had to be conscious with the kind of investments we make in product, in content, in marketing, in distribution to cater to this language heterogeneity. The other heterogeneity was across accessibility, right? Some people like watching it, shows and movies on their phones. Some people like an immersive experience in a living room device at home. Some people like to watch it on their laptop, some people on their tablet. So we had to build an extremely seamless experience for all of these devices. Again, heterogeneity, right? Then we had to address heterogeneity of affordability, right? So we have Prime Video, which is part of a Prime membership program, and it is a multi-benefit program. You get a whole bunch of other benefits with it. And we also launched Prime Video Mobile Edition, right? For an audience that is mobile first. We actually launched it early last year, and it's been off to a phenomenal start. So we had to address heterogeneity across affordability. And then we had to address heterogeneity across genres of entertainment itself. There is no one overwhelming genre. So I could go on, but we tend to think of it as, it's like what we say at Amazon, it's always day one. We're just getting started. The opportunity is massive. In fact, just earlier a couple of months ago, we actually announced at one of our events that in the next 5 years, we're going to be doubling what we have invested into the business in India compared to the last 5. So I think that should be a testament to both the opportunity and the success that we have had.
That's massive. So, continuing on that note, right, can you give me a glimpse of where does India as a business stand in the global scenario of Amazon Prime, and its ecosystem?
Oh yeah, absolutely. India is extremely central. So, for example, I can tell you some stats. India actually has one of the key locales that has amongst the highest proportion of Prime members streaming on the service on Prime Video every month. In the last year, more new customers started streaming on Prime Video in India than in any other locale, anywhere in the world. We have a slate, as I mentioned earlier, we have launched about 40, 45 odd original shows in India so far, and we have 70 more in various stages of development. In fact, earlier this year, we actually announced a whole slew of them at our Maiden Prime Video Presence event in India. So we have more than 70 shows, and that's actually, after the US, this is the biggest slate of Amazon original shows being commissioned and developed in any part of the world, right? Indian shows, our original shows, travel extremely far and wide. We are available in more than 240 countries and territories, our shows and movies. 1 in 5 streamers of all of our local Indian shows is actually from outside India. And, in many ways, for example, including the recently launched Lord of the Rings of Power, it's been off to a phenomenal start. 25 million viewers in the first 24 hours worldwide. It's been off to a fantastic start in India too. So in many ways, it's like when Jeff Bezos was in India a couple of years ago, and he actually said this: Prime Video is doing well everywhere in the world, but nowhere is it doing as well as it is in India. So
that's a massive number. So, we spoke about originals. You just mentioned about originals and multilingual content that is becoming the kind of the backbone of this growth. What about your international shows, right? A Lord of the Rings, it's a testament of how popular this show is, right? How has it really contributed to the growth of Prime Video in India?
It's interesting because when we think about our international slate of content, and you take the Lord of the Rings of Power, there is some of our customers who prefer to watch it in English, and a large set of customers who would love to watch it in one of the Indian languages. So localization is not just in terms of localizing a show in terms of dubs, etc., but actually thinking about the entire GTM or the go-to-market in terms of the localized marketing, localized media, localized use of our local talent. We actually do a whole bunch of crossovers with some of our international shows. It's actually, how do we take the show, keep the show intact in what it's, fundamentally at its essence, but at the same time find a broader audience for it, right? It's been not just, the Rings of Power. We have had phenomenal hits like The Terminal List, The Tomorrow War, and a whole bunch of them before them. It's been a very exciting opportunity for us to bring international content, international stories, not just English. In fact, we have had, stories and shows from other languages as well, like Dom, for example, that we launched last year. Find their place and find their audience in India, because we truly believe that great stories transcend borders and transcend all forms of language barriers. If it is a great story, you will watch it. You will want to watch it. You will talk to your friends about it and your family. So we believe that our focus continues to be on being able to tell great stories, being able to collaborate with talent and storytellers across the world, giving them an environment that helps them tell those great stories. And we take the effort of actually making sure that we are helping those stories travel to more than 240 countries and territories worldwide. So it's been a really good run.
Content as the king, as you say. So that was from the production point of view, right? If I can take a little more time and understand the consumers better. So we have a saying that India is a price sensitive market, right? How do you cater to this diverse set of consumers that you have come to your platform every day in and out?
It's a really good question, actually. And here's how I see it. I don't think India is a price-sensitive market. I think Indian customer is a value-conscious customer, right? And therefore, it starts with saying, what is the value that we offer to the customer? How consistently do we offer it? How consistently do we maintain the quality of what we offer? And are there other things that we can offer? And I'll break down what I just said into 4 parts, right? The first is, we believe that we need to program not to, so we call it, let's not program to the couch, which is to the, in quotes, average Indian household, but actually program for every individual customer, right? Because we believe that even within a household, right, what the mother wants, or what the kid wants, or what does the grandmother want, they're actually slightly different. So we don't start with an average of households, we start with customers, right? What are their needs? And they might, all be watching, having a shared experience, or might be watching it separately on their mobile phones, or their personal devices. So the first is the value in terms of content and entertainment that is relevant to you. The second is a consistency, right? It's not about just one big show or movie and then, we don't have anything compelling for the customer for a long period of time, because that doesn't convey value, right? So we have to make sure across our originals, across our international shows, across the shows and movies that we license, right? And, we have on the service, we ensure that we have a steady drumbeat of shows and movies for this heterogeneous audience, right? The third is making sure that customers find the program of Prime valuable. So Prime Video is available as part of a Prime membership program, and you get access to Prime Video, shipping benefits on Amazon, shopping, free and fast, shipping and shopping deals, and music and reading, and a whole bunch of other benefits. And we truly believe, and customers have shown us that the more they enjoy all of these benefits, the more valuable they find the Prime program to be, and the longer they stick around. So in that sense, as a Prime Video streaming service, we're actually pretty differentiated from some of the other streaming services in what we define value to be. And to your question, I think customers, as long as they find it valuable, I think they'll be more than happy to continue to be members.
Interesting. I would really want to quiz you on, your strategy behind launching the entertainment marketplace, right? It's, where you have content that you really don't own for your audiences. What was the idea behind that, the objective, and how do you think this marketplace has really contributed in your growth?
So it starts with a North Star ambition, which is we want to be the world's most loved video entertainment service, right? Sounds nice, right? But when we start breaking it down and we say, okay, what does it mean to get there? What does it mean to earn that love from customers? We realized that we had to really build other ways for customers to find what really they want as entertainment outside of what we ourselves might be programming, right? So one example, as you mentioned, was Prime Video channels, that we launched in the second half of last year, where we actually provide partners that we work with access to unprecedented reach of customers for their catalog of entertainment. So we have today more than 12 Prime Video channel partners that we work with. And the idea is a Prime member, you can watch everything that we have in the Prime Video catalog, and also with an add-on subscription, you get access to this whole world of additional entertainment, right? Similarly with movie rentals, right? We're providing studios and producers and storytellers an expanded reach through being able to offer movie rentals. The idea is pretty simple. The idea is, how do we make it almost unnecessary for a customer to have to be anywhere else except Prime Video for their entertainment? And we have some journey to cover in it. It's still day one for us. But that's really the fundamentals of the entertainment hub. As you mentioned, we launched Prime Video channels late last year. We launched movie rentals earlier this year. Both have been off to a phenomenal start, and we will continue to invest in them really, really actively.
Great. We are brand equity here, right? ET brand equity we are. And let's talk about brand equity. So what's the brand equity of Amazon Prime Video? What is that one thing that you want consumers to connect with on that when it's about Prime Video? It's
a good question. I think there I think there are two or three parts to this. The first is there is the, when we think about what do we stand for as a brand, right? What are we trying to help customers with? I truly believe a brand story is one where the customer sits at the center and not the product, right? Because then it's not really building a brand. I think there are two or three facets to this. The first is, how do we provide customers, India especially is in a journey of upgradation, a journey of, we are really, making the investments for future generations to be far more, excellent in various disciplines, right? Through investments in infrastructure, through investments in households, through investments in a whole bunch of other areas. And we think that Prime Video plays the role of being a trusted friend, right? We are a cheerleader. We inspire you, we educate you, we motivate you, we kind of give you the push, right, through our suite of what we offer as entertainment. But really, you will agree that great stories have an impact on all of us, right? So that's one, which is how do we play the role of a trusted friend really well, right? The second is there are times when you want Prime Video to be, I call it an entertaining escape, right? You just want to be, lost in great storytelling. I think it's a combination of the two. I think it's a combination of how do we play the responsible role of being the curators of great stories, working with great talent and storytellers and being able to provide them a home for talent, right? Because when we think of our stakeholders, it is customers, and then we also have creators, storytellers, writers, talent. And the brand that we want them to perceive Prime Video to be is a brand that really gives them an environment, right? That feels unencumbered, that feels, positive in the energy, and that is a great safe place for them to tell their stories. And on the customer side, we believe that the opportunity for us is to be a brand that gives you, inspiration, motivation, and sometimes just an escape, right? And everything that we do, whether it's as brand or as service, or, brand marketing or service marketing, or even how we market our shows, is really built around this. And yeah.
Fascinating. I can see we are already close to, being on time. So, Sushant, one last thing that I really want to ask you, right? What's the next big thing for Prime Video? And where do we see, Amazon Prime Video going from now?
I think it feels, in framing that question as the next big thing, it feels like, we've kind of gotten to some big milestone. But honestly, in my head, I tend to think of it, as I mentioned, as we're just getting started. It is still day one. We have such a massive, massive opportunity ahead of us. As you mentioned earlier in your comments, one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing OTT category anywhere in the world, poised to become the biggest OTT streaming category very soon, billion+ streamers. And I think we believe that the opportunity ahead of us is so large and so compelling that our investments, over the next 5-10 years are going to be at a scale that, at a much higher scale than we have ever attempted in the recent past, across programming, across, the slate of originals, across the partnerships that we have. We recently announced, our co-production ventures. We recently, announced a slate of multi-film licensing agreements. So I think there's a lot more to be done. And yeah, the future looks exciting.
It's a long runway ahead, and we are really looking forward to having some good news coming in from Amazon Prime. On that note, I would really want to open it up for the audience here. If there would be any questions, we would like to take them. Yeah, here.
Hello, Sriram. Very nice insights about a lot of things that we, get to know. So I think a lot of years back, Netflix was into DVD business, right? DVD rentals.
Sorry,
and
I can't hear you well enough.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello?
Go ahead.
Netflix was into DVD business, right? Rentals. And then they saw competition from retail giant, which is Walmart. They started giving content for free along with the retail purchases, right? And now, do you see that something similar is happening at this point in time, where Netflix is serving content digitally on an OTT platform, and you have Amazon Prime Video? You just mentioned apart from the retail services, shipping and content. Do you see a similar analogy there?
I don't know. I don't know if I fully understood the question, but if I can interpret that question, I don't think it's the same, because the Prime program is fundamentally differentiated in the fact that what we provide customers is a membership program that makes large parts of your life convenient. Very simple, right? That's the underlying underpinning of the Prime program. And as Prime Video, we acknowledge and believe that it is not about the form factor. It is about, as I mentioned earlier, there is a huge heterogeneity in how customers consume content, and that's totally fine. We actually love the fact that we get to cater to such a diverse audience. So as technological advancements, give us the opportunity to invest in new ways of delivering entertainment, we will look at that, right? Because the end goal is how do we provide world-class entertainment to customers? And we will leave no stone unturned.
Thank you, thank you.
There is a hand in the middle. Yeah.
Hi, Sushant. My name is Samson. I'm from Playbox TV. I just wanted to know, what are your distribution plans for India? I presume you're doing mostly B2C, but do you have any plans for B2B? When I say B2B, means through ISP, through MSOs, or through content aggregators?
Short answer, we actually do have some phenomenal partnerships, so I can speak to some of them, and happy to talk more offline. So for example, what I mentioned earlier, which is Prime Video Mobile Edition, which is a mobile-only offering of Prime Video that is available to customers. We actually have it available through a telco partner, right? We actually provide various parts of the Prime program available to customers of telcos, MVPDs, broadband partners, and a whole slate of partners that we believe provide for synergistic benefits. So it's we tend to think of it as we need to find different ways of being able to reach, engage customers across the length and breadth of the country. We already have a lot of them in play. We're always open to more ways of working.
Thank you.
Maybe just one question for you. You mentioned earlier that you had a lot of success in India, Prime Video currently, right? So what did you think Prime Video got right in India but was not able to get right in other countries? Was it the content? Was it the pricing? Was it the mergers and acquisitions you did with the local languages that got you the numbers? What is the USP?
I don't think I alluded to the fact that it didn't get it right in other parts of the world. I'm sure we got it right many ways. But I think the question that you had was, what did it take uniquely to India? And I know that's a fair question actually. And it's fundamentally very simple. It required solving for many things in parallel, as opposed to trying to solve for many things in one after the other. And to give an example, we had to solve for creating an ecosystem for high quality cinematic value original content. It did not exist back then. When you think about the ecosystem of creators, writers, production setups, they were built for a different world of entertainment creation and distribution, right? So we had to create that. We had to speak to an heterogeneity of customers that I spoke earlier about. Device access, right? Affordability, infrastructure of being able to stream without, the video hanging up halfway through it, right? So the most important thing, if I had to summarize the answer, was we had to solve for a whole bunch of things all in parallel to be able to capitalize on what we saw, and what we continue to see is essentially a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So, yeah.
Great. We just have time for one more question. I see a hand going up. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. That's, yeah.
Hi. So I have a question regarding your future plans. One, I would be interested if you have any, plans of entering into sports for India, and secondly, metaverse globally.
Sorry. What was the second part of the question?
So firstly, if you have any plans of venturing into sports for India, like to target the sports fans, and secondly, any plans of venturing into metaverse, like at a global level.
Sorry, I didn't get the second one.
The sports. Can you just
Sports and metaverse.
Metaverse.
Thank you. Sports. So we continue to be excited about making sure our customers have all forms of entertainment that, they're used to, and sports obviously is a large part of it. And we continue to keep, looking at all the ways that we can provide that to customers. In fact, have live cricket on the service with the New Zealand cricket, rights. In fact, we have, let me take this opportunity, let everybody know, in case you don't already, we have the upcoming tour of the India men's cricket team to New Zealand later in November. I think it's an important part of how we program for India, and we are always looking at opportunities to bring that to customers on top of what we already have. The other thing that we've been able to do is actually build the entire allied content around sports, predominantly around docu-series, right? So when you look at, All or Nothing, the whole All or Nothing series that we have on the service, when you look at, the Jaipur Pink Panthers docu-series that we had, these are all examples, and we'll continue to evaluate more. The second part of your question on metaverse, I think I will interpret your question as, how do we get more immersive with our entertainment, right? And metaverse is a version of it, but really the end state is immersive entertainment. We have some plans in the works on it, and I'm sure you'll love it when you see it. I think it starts with, can we just provide, India is a unique country in the sense that we have smartphones as a predominant form of entertainment access, and you have a whole bunch of other means taking off. But we can solve for the metaverse, we can solve for other immersive means, but we continue to also equally place equal emphasis on saying, how can we deliver seamless experience on a 4.5, 5-inch smartphone, right? Because that is just as important for us and for our customers too. So, yeah.
Great. One last question from sir. I think he has been standing for a long time.
Hi, my name is Alok Kejriwal. I am deaf and she's my interpreter. Thanks for your patience. Your Amazon platform provides different languages like English, Hindi, Telugu and all of that. Why not Indian Sign Language? Because that is for, all OTTs don't have accessibility for the deaf in movies. And
that's the question.
No, my only response, thanks a lot for the question, sir. I think it's absolutely fair feedback. I heard your question, and I'll try and speak slowly just so that she can translate. And so, I think there are two parts to it. One is, how do we make our content accessible to people with different, various faculties? We actually have, we have something called, voice-assisted, dubbing, and we have subtitles, and we provide other means for people to be able to consume our content. The other side is, how do we enable an ecosystem that provides people with different faculties the opportunities to participate in the storytelling? I think that's absolutely fair feedback, and I'm sure we can do more of it. We actually employ a lot of people from various backgrounds in all of our production of shows, but I'm sure we can always be doing more. I hope that answered your question. If it didn't, please do follow up.
so mostly deaf people can't read captions because, of the education system, and they prefer sign language because that is our mother tongue. Like, Telugu, Malayalam, that is their mother tongue. Same way ISL is our mother tongue. I'm sure Amazon should provide and, tie up with us to do translation, because for the first time in India, this will happen. And we've done translation for movies. And, we've tied up. I'm sorry?
No, sorry, please finish.
So my company has tied up with the 83 movie to do translation in theaters, and that will come soon. Again, this is for the first time in India and the whole world for accessibility for the deaf. Deaf people love to watch movies, same like hearing people. So why not for deaf people? It should be fair.
Absolutely fair. And we will definitely do more at it. Thank you so much for the question. Thank you.
Thank you. On that note, we would like to conclude the session. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.